Hey y'all, welcome back to the Be Like D channel. It's your girl D coming back with another review of Love and Marriage Huntsville season 3 episode 16. Alright, so let's get into it. So the episode opens up with Mel in her office and everybody's supposed to be coming over because they're gonna talk about the comeback group. Kimmy wanted to know if they can, revamp it, if they can get back together. I'm like, girl, why y'all still trying to bring this up? That's been gone, dead and gone since season 2, early season 2. Girl, bye. But anyways, Mel's like, it's kind of nice to be going back around the table and talking about the comeback group, but she been quit the comeback group. It's been done for her. And so the first person to show up is Marceau. I'm like, how the hell is Marceau the first person to show up? But anyway, so he showed up and she had enough time to talk to him about what happened with her mom and his mother-in-law. And she told him that the race was all good and all. But that stuff after, like, why would you say that to somebody's mother? And then of course he agreeing, like, you don't even say stuff like that, even if it's true or not. There you go again with that. If it's true or not, if you got all the proof or not, why would you even say that? And then I like how Mel clocks that in her confession. She was like, that's funny how he says that, but just like what, last year or whatever, he was putting out rumors about Mel mama too, and then they go flashing us back to last season, I think earlier last season 2, when Marceau said that they had a sex tape about Mel's mama out there. And I'm like, what the hell? That's gross. Why would he know that or anything about that? So that was weird. But I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot that did happen though, so okay. And then here come Tisha come in, and then also in her confessional she said what happened with their mamas was crazy, but she glad they on the same page and they were actually in a good place before this incident happened. Because like I said, it could have went left, especially if Mel would have took it the way if Mel would have took it the wrong way. They all been beefing right there, okay? Okay, so not everybody there, and apparently Kimmy wanted to call this meeting because apparently they still ain't tied up ends with the comeback group. They never dissolved it, so it's still just there, and it is tied to each one of their businesses. And so even though they dissolved Holt, it still affected them somehow or something like that. So then Mel trying to make it known, like, nah, I ain't been a part of the comeback group since 2019, okay, since 2019. And then she was like, but I pulled out. And then of course Marceau got to make a joke like, well, you could pull out and still have a baby. And then they all started laughing like, And then Mel was like, well, speaking of babies, Marcel, where's the kids? And he like, in your office? She's like, my office? My office? He was like, yeah, why you say it like that? And he like, they ain't gonna tell nothing. I'm like, you a lie, because last episode you said they would be tearing up stuff. That's why you want to get them that swing set. But anyway, so then she was like, well, first of all, everybody was laughing because she got gangster with it. She was like, first of all, when my kids is here, I'm gonna speak to them, and I'm gonna go in there and make sure they don't tell my stuff. So then she go in there, it was cute, they all hugging on her, and she all cute with that baby. That little baby is so cute. But anyway, so then she go back to the room. As she now talking to the kids, they still over there having a conversation, trying to figure out if Martell still want to be a part of the comeback group. And then he like, yeah, I think we all on the same page. We all kind of doing stuff in the community. So if we just come together on one collective project, I mean, I think we can do it. But then Mel come back and she's sitting there looking like, And then of course, I guess Martell gave her a face, and then she was like, now everybody want to be in the group. I'm like, Mel, you so damn extra. So Mel saying that she don't want to do it, anything that got to deal with Martell. And then he was like, well, you said you didn't want to be a part of the comeback group years ago. She was like, yes, 2019. Thank you, Kimmy. Mel extra, but she be cracking me up sometimes. Yes, 2019. Thank you, Kimmy. And then he was like, she's like I've been doing since 2019. And then he go Martell. what, neglecting the kids. And then she was like, oh really, if you think I neglect the kids, then you should be filing for full custody. And he was like, yeah, I almost did, I did, but then you even said okay one time. And then she was like, please. She's like, you offered to give me the kids full time a month ago. I said, oh really though? It be so hard trying to figure out, so much stuff go on between them in this whole scene. The whole scene, everybody's reaction was like oh. And just like Marceau said, that it felt like whatever conversation that Mel and Martell had before whatever had went down, they just picked it back up. Because he was like, it seems like you two are having a conversation, having a meeting, rather than we all are having a meeting. Y'all having your own meeting. Like, what's going on here? And Marceau's face the whole time was like, I was like, yep. Just like he said, he don't want to have that whole drama and stuff. So stop trying to do business with them, okay? Y'all barely holding on to this friend group. But anyway, Martell get up and leave when he doing all his BS after he done dropped that dime or whatever. But apparently something happened between a meeting between Marceau and Chris. I don't know, it was it another meeting or it was from the last meeting? They didn't really clarify that, because he said we were just fine. Well, why you acting like that? And then she was like, well, let me tell you. If you let me tell you, then it's gonna be good. And he's like, well, you're not gonna be disrespecting me and all that crap. And so now Mel trying to convince everybody why they want to do business with Martell. She was like that she don't want to do no business with Martell. She was like, I didn't divorce Martell because of the baby and this and that. I divorced him because of the man I know him to be. And I was like, ooh. So she was like, his integrity, everything. She divorced him because of his character. Okay, I was like, damn, bitch, cut him down. Okay, cut him down. Maurice was like, oh, okay. He's like, so that's who I know him to be. So y'all know him to be the same. So why y'all so dead set on wanting to do business with him? And then it's like, well, we all bring different perspectives to different things, and da 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 da. And then so Marceau is like, but baby, you ain't gotta tell me twice, you know. I ain't finna do business with this if this how y'all finna be, okay? And then Maurice and Kimmy talking about in their confessionals that usually it is a meeting. Every time they do have a meeting about the comeback group, it is a fight or whatever, an argument. But it's usually not Mel and Martell. It's usually both groups against each other. So I'm guessing, I'm like, so is it usually just the Holtz against the Scotts? That's what I think it usually is. In Marceau confessional, he said that Martell is a great business guy and he's proven himself over time to be a great friend. I was like, when? Where? When he said you had 20 girlfriends? Is that when? He's proven himself to be a great friend. Well, okay, he's like, but he's dealing with Melanie right now, and that's just basically a recipe for disaster, and he ain't gonna win that way, okay? So stop bucking up to Mel, basically. Look, that's what I just created for him. Stop bucking up to Mel, because you're gonna lose every time. That's why he keeps trying to do it, because he keeps trying to think he gonna get one of these arguments, he gonna win. That's what I think it's probably about. He just want to win something. I like how Maurice was like, you guys were interwoven, your lives were interwoven together. And it's just like, yeah, so how am I okay? How am I okay? How am I okay and he not? And then Marceau was like, I know why, because your ass is winning. If your ass was losing, you'd be in the same predicament as him. And then she just smirk. But anyway, so then Martell called her. She put it on speakerphone. I thought it was weird that she put it on speakerphone in front of the group. But he basically said that Mariah is crying. He don't know why. Can she calm her down? He's like, well, I started to just bring her back to you. And she's like, yeah, go ahead and bring her back to me. So then they just killed the meeting. Everybody was like, well, all right, then we'll see y'all. Martell comes back and Mel gets the oldest daughter. It's the oldest daughter that's crying. Mel took her to her office. I like how they gave them their own moment. It wasn't no mic or nothing like that. They was off into the room to, you know, figure out what her daughter was going on. And then I like how everybody outside talking to Martell. and telling him this is that co-parenting part. And he was like, yeah, I just wanted to leave in peace. And Kimmy was like, yeah, you stirred it up real good before you left though. And he like, yeah. I'm like, how you just know you do shit? And he just like, yeah. But anyways, so then he's like, just because I feel like when I'm getting attacked, I feel like I gotta fight back. I know I shouldn't do low blows, but you know. And then Marceau actually said something that was good. I was like, okay, here we go. I was like, I had to give him a little clap right there. He told him, he talked to him like a parent too. I was like, hold on, Marceau, is a parent in there somewhere? He was like, stop doing this. This is a lifelong journey. Look what's in that car. Look what's in that car. This is a life journey. You gotta stop putting this shit out there. I said, oh, this was good. This was real good. Too bad you don't know how to take your own advice. It'd be better, but you know how to gather Martell, okay? You gotta gather Martell. So Martell was saying that the oldest daughter is the one that was upset, and that she was upset because she was like, this is mommy's office now, but it used to be both of y'all's office. So she old enough to remember, you know, all of that. She the firstborn, so she know what life was like, and then now look at it. It's heartbreaking. It is so heartbreaking. Poor little kids. Poor kids, they ain't asked for none of this shit. Your daddy is just full of shit. Okay, your daddy need to go heal himself. That's his problem. He never healed himself, and he just going about life fucking shit up. Okay, that's sad. But he and Mel in their confessional saying, you know, that it sucks and that they need to figure out a better way to communicate. And he's saying they shouldn't take daggers at each other, and that he hates that it comes off as if they don't know how to control themselves. I'm like, yeah, it's y'all, but you do be stirred. You be the main one, okay? You the one that's salty because you ain't winning, like Marceau said. But anyway, so, and Mel saying they both love each other. They have to get everything better for the kids because that's the main priority is their kids. I'm like, yes, that is true. Y'all need to get together because it is getting a bit ridiculous. And then the fact that on the Ooh Ladies First panel on YouTube, you know, with my girls, that she said that he still wake up and do stuff to her. He still wake up and find a way to, you know, make her upset. So I'm like, you still not past the Martell? You still not done? Like, let it go. Let it go. So now we're over to Maurice and Marceau, and they going to play tennis. And then they going to play tennis for no reason, okay? No reason at all. Because they're talking about they brushing up on their skills in case they get challenged in the future. Who gonna challenge y'all? Y'all shut up. Shut up. And is this time that you have away from your wife and kids? Is that what this is? I thought y'all didn't have time, that you're too busy thinking about work. Okay, let's move on. Okay, so it was funny as hell how Marceau was like, I ain't never doing business with them. I ain't doing business with no Martell. If he still gonna have all that going on, The way he said it too, he was for real. I ain't doing business with his ass. Not with that, but what he said about Vital, I don't know. You know, I don't know how to say these damn words, but with all that bad energy is what I'm gonna call it. With all that energy he got going on with Mel, I will never do business with him when he under all of this, because especially if it has potential to be dealing with Mel and him, I ain't trying to be a part of that. He said my family eats off of my decisions, and I can't be having them bad decisions. So I was like, okay, Marceau, you better tell him. But you better tell Martell, okay? Because then he gonna really be mad. Let him lash out on you. But I feel like he kind of went in on him too, because he was like, I ain't seen you since the comeback group meeting. He was like, yeah, people act like they don't know how to act when they really do know how to act. You know how to act. You know when to shut up. I said, ooh. Marceau, well, you know when to shut up. He was getting all crunk with it. But there's like, yeah, every time the group is together, they got an argument. So that's gonna be the running thing of the rest of the season. You know, it was the whole season, but every time they together, it's a fight. So now Maurice is telling Marceau about their therapy session with Dr. Francis, and then he already didn't want to hear it. He's like, okay. He's like, he a good therapist, bro. He a good therapist. He was like, okay, yeah, tell me what he said. Tell me what he said. And then Maurice was like, well, he basically said something that was life changing. He's like, all right. And he was like, he essentially said that I have 2 wives. And he was like, that's a stretch. He's like, because basically everyone sees entrepreneurship as a job, but he sees it as that's who he is. And then Marceau was like, yeah, that's true. That's what's true. And he was like, and that's when he said the 2 wives thing. And then he said that was a stretch. And then he said no, because you have 1 wife that won't leave you no matter what you're doing. But you do have another wife that is a human being and has feelings and needs your time. I'm like, exactly, Maurice, exactly. Tell this man, tell your brother, tell him, child. And he didn't care about that part either. He wasn't listening. And then in Maurice's confession, he basically says that he thinks that Marceau is a pretty smart guy, but he doesn't think that basically he not taking therapy seriously as he could, and therapy could actually help him figure out things that you don't know. Like he's like, you don't know what you don't know until you get to thinking about it and figuring shit out. I'm like, exactly, Maurice, please, somebody, please. And then he's like, it's better if he go to a professional instead of figuring out yourself. And I'm like, good, okay, thank you. He threw a little shade with that, but I was like, okay, I'm here for it. Maurice basically tells him he looking at it like he needs to either scale back at work or be more efficient at work, so then he can spend more time with his baby, aka Kimmy. So he don't lose her, because then she's not always gonna be there. And I said, okay, Maurice, there we go. Let's see if some changes been made. Let's see if some changes been made. And then he's like, so my problem is basically I just have to figure out how to get more efficient. And then he's like, and that's a problem I can fix. And then Marceau was saying, how do you know you can fix that? How you become more efficient at work? Because he said he's saving time to spend time. I don't know. I ain't getting it. I don't know the entrepreneur life, I guess. But anyway, so he's saying, but how you know if you're in the middle of a project and then you gotta stop? It's like, I'm not gonna stop. I'm in the middle of it. And then he said apparently he has things that he been like he know the end goal and stuff of what, so he have cutoff times and stuff like that. So he does have things that are gonna be reached or complete. That's his whole thing. His stuff is gonna be complete soon. That's why I'm under so much stress. And then in his confessional, he says that he already had a lot of the stuff in line, and now he's at that point. He's like, if he didn't see the light at the end of the tunnel, then he will understand. But right now, he says he sees the light at the end of the tunnel because everything is almost over. Then after that, he can assess where he's at. He's like, he's not against therapy. He just don't feel like he needs it right now. And then Maurice is saying in his confessional that Marceau is very logical. He can logically reason himself in and out of things. I'm like, yes, he can, can't he? He can talk his way out too, real slick with his dumbass wife too. Maurice said he thinks that when Marceau said he was depressed, that he was going through something in that moment, and then now he feels like he's past it, so he doesn't have to talk about therapy or whatever. But in the actual scene, Marceau was saying that he expected everybody to overreact. Okay, he get it. And then Maurice was like, it's not an overreaction when you mention depression to people that love you. And then that's when he's saying that, you know, he don't feel like it's an issue. So then they leaving, and then I guess Marceau trying to say he won, but then Maurice like, no, you didn't win. If you lie now, you'll lie in a different city. And he's like, okay, Dr. Francis. I'm like, yeah, Dr. Francis gonna tell his ass. And the child catch that he told Marceau told Maurice that him and Dr. Francis think alike. Especially after he told him, after he said in his confessional last week that women think like men that think like women will understand Dr. Francis. Okay, so now we're over to Kimmy and Maurice's office, the something emporium. I don't know. I'm like, why do we keep having things here? Are they trying to promote their business? But okay, I guess. And she invited Mel and Tisha. She said it's Mel's first time being there today, building, so they should be fun. They're gonna be drinking. I'm like, how y'all drinking? And it's supposed to be an office setting, but okay, we're gonna move on. So they're gonna be drinking. It's gonna be like old times. And apparently they saying they ain't hung out like that since all their disagreements, since basically season 1 when they was in Millhouse, okay? And of course, Tisha messy ass want to get right into it. She was like, so what was going on the other day with you and Martell at the meeting, like? And then she was like, you know what always happened when you put me and Martell together? And I'm like, true. So true. And then Kimmy asked about Mariah and if Martell still had the kids since that meeting. And then she's like, yeah, it's his week. It's his week. And she was like, you know, she think it was either between Martell's energy for when he went in there, because when he left he was mad, and the fact that she did say, I'ma say bye to y'all or whatever before y'all leave. And then I guess she was saying that if he would have been like, all right, we finna go, y'all go say bye to y'all mama, then that would have made the whole difference. But as a 9-year-old, she was just like, hold on, wait, mama just said, and we just leaving abruptly, so she knows something went down. I'm like, that's 2 different stories. Did y'all catch that? That was 2 different stories. She was saying the daughter was upset for something else, and then Martell in his confessional was saying that the daughter was upset because the office. Which one is true? Kimmy asked Mel when they're in the situation with her and Martell, or in the situation, what is their role to maybe to help the situation? And she was like, ooh, that's a good question. She's like, well, just maybe not have us in the same room. I'm like, ooh, that's not what they wanted. That's not the answer they wanted. And then Kimmy was like, are you serious? Like, is that what you really want? Because we have a lot of things that we're doing together, and we know it's situations that we like, are you okay with him coming and stuff like that? So you just rather us not invite you? And then she was like, yeah, don't invite me. She's like, because not until he matures a little bit, because it's gonna keep being the same stuff, because he take jabs. And then she's like, in her confession, she was like, I might ignore the first one, but then the second one, I'm coming back at you. So he keep trying to come for me. So I gotta come back for him. And then she's like, and then it's just ridiculous. I was like, perfect word. Yes, that's what it be. At the end of all y'all arguments, it do be ridiculous, okay? But, you know, Tisha was like, well, I hope one day y'all can get on the same page. And she was like, well, I don't know. I don't see that happening. But maybe. So then now Mel wants them to get off of her. She's like, so what's going on with y'all? What happened? Because it was something like a little text message or something. You had an issue with it with me and Destiny being on it. And of course, that started some shit. Kimmy's like, you know, basically, I didn't care for the text message. Normally, she would call me. And we'll, you know, talk about it. And then Tisha saying, well, no, she was being petty. That's what she was doing. She was being petty about it. Like, Tisha be trying it. Tisha be really trying it. Because Kim was like... And then, of course, in her confession, it was like, of course, like, since we're not on the same page, that everything looked like we're pushing each other's buttons, even if, or we're assuming that the other person's pushing each other's buttons. I'm like, no, y'all pushing each other's buttons. Because that, she was like, she was being petty. I'm like, nah, that was gonna start an argument right there. But basically, Kimmy was telling her that she didn't like being in that text message. She was fine with everything until she brought it up in front of the group and tried to play her like, yeah, only Destiny and Mel donated, or, you know, going to be sponsored, so what's up with y'all? That's kind of, and it was that. So basically, Kimmy admitted to being petty after that, and then she said that she feels like when they not on the same page, that she feels like she don't get the benefit of the doubt. Like, of course, I'm gonna sponsor. We done wrote many checks for y'all and support y'all all the time. And she started listing all the stuff they done did. I was like, oh, okay, Kimmy, you real mad. You like, I wrote checks for this, I wrote checks for that. And then how did I go back down to Maurice and her not having good communication with this last check. She was like, yeah, I didn't know that he didn't send it out yet, but usually you'll call me, you'll be like, what's up with the check? Maurice ain't send the check, blah, blah, blah. And then she was like, well, I support you guys too, and y'all think. She was like, no, not as much. She's like, we drove all the way up to blah, blah, for Jalen. And then she was like, yeah, you did do that. You did do that, but y'all don't write as many checks as we do, and all the stuff that y'all ask for. I said, ooh, so they always asking for checks, and they don't get y'all checks back? Oh, that should really let you know what's going on right there. So she always asking you for money, basically, and then she don't give you money back in return for y'all endeavors. And then, of course, in Tisha's confession, she getting all mad. She was like, really? Is she keeping track of everything that we do for each other? That's just draining. That's petty. Like, who does that? And I'm tired of defending myself over this situation. I'm like, don't that sound familiar? Because that's what you was doing to Kimmy. Okay, you was doing it to Kimmy. You've been doing it to Kimmy. Every little thing you got a problem with, yada yada yada. She explaining herself away for stuff that don't even really even matter to you. And then she's like, well, maybe I should start pulling out my stuff and saying all the things that we did for them. But that's not what friends do. I'm like, girl, bye. Yes, you do. You always got your hand to ask for a check, okay? So now we're over to Martell, and he's visiting his business partner at whatever house they building or whatever. So the business partner trying to get on his ass. He basically like, you studying for that test, boy? Studying for that builder's license? And then Martell was like, well, one night I got motivated with the 4 kids. I told them to go to the room. But then I looked down at that book, and I'm like, he couldn't focus. He said he couldn't focus, and the dude like, come on, man, you gotta focus. What software you using? He's like, software? I'm using a book. He's like, nah, bro, I got a software. I'm like, what is this? Nah, bro, I got a software. And then he's like, all right. He's like, but that ain't my top priority. I got a lot going on that I'm focusing on. He's like, I'm not trying to say I'm on your back, but we're business partners and you got it, so I'm gonna get there. And he's like, the business partner's like, but I need you to get there. I'm like, now you see what Mel's problem was? So then he telling him he needs to get down and focus. Then Mel call out of nowhere with a FaceTime, and then he like, hold on, Mel calling me. So then he pulls to the side, and she like, yeah, can we meet in person like right now? I need to talk to you about something that's important. And then I guess he told her the location or whatever, and then she like, okay, I'm on my way. So then he go tell a business partner that she on her way, and then he like, oh wow, like what's going on? He was like, I don't know, she, could be something. And he was like, but when she come, I'm gonna talk to her all the way down there, down the street, cause anytime we together, it's been a problem. And he like, okay, yeah. And then the business partner like, yeah, you don't need the neighbors knowing your name. I was like, okay, that was cute. Cause she'll yell out of Martell, Holt, you ain't even mean it. Okay, she calling me first and last name all the time. So now Mel pull up, and apparently he said in his confession that he messed up the other day. So I'm like, what you messed up? What you do? So then Mel pulls up, they talking. She was like, yeah, I want to talk to you about what happened the other day or whatever that was. So apparently Martell, she told Martell she was gonna be there. I'm like, why would you tell him you was gonna be there? Okay. And then he was like, I'm gonna be over there too. But then she said, no, that's not what you said. And he said, yes, I did. I said, yeah, I'm gonna be over around that way too. She says he was in a business meeting. He ended that meeting to come over to where she was because he seen her in a restaurant with another man on a date. I was like, yes. Hilarious. He saw her on a date and he lost his shit. He was like, yeah, it was shocking. It was shocking. I've never seen it. So of course I'm gonna come over there. Of course. Yes, enjoy that. Love that picture, okay? You deserve it, okay? Was your heart broken? Look at me, okay? I'm extra petty with it, but he deserved every piece of pain he get, okay? Yes, he does. she says that he trying to repair his business reputation and doing that just to come all the way over there to talk to her about her being on the date. He probably ended his meeting in 15 minutes. You need to be worried about your meeting. And then he's like, no, so what? I'm like, this man here, so what? He was like, yeah, it was shocking to see you on a date, and he take him to our favorite restaurant. She was like, no, it's my favorite restaurant. He's like, you ain't have to come over there being all dramatic, talking about no, you gonna be my wife. And then he was like, no, I didn't say that. No, I didn't say that. I ain't never say that. And then she about to pull up in her messages. I'm like, oh, so did he text her that too? He was like, no, I told you, no, I wouldn't ever want to be married to you again, only for the kids and stuff like that. And then she was like, no, that's not what you said the other day. That's not what you said the other day. And then he pulls out his phone and shows a picture of the dude, but of course they blurred it out. She's like, he's like, what you trying to do? Get him camera time or something? Is that what you trying to do? And then he pulled out the picture. Do better. This the guy you was going around showing off with our favorite restaurant. I'm like, first of all, how you gonna be jealous and mad because it's that y'all restaurant? She's like, no, it's my favorite restaurant. And I'm like, even if it was y'all favorite restaurant, guess what? It's not anymore. Y'all not together anymore. And you ain't give a damn. I'm sure you had old girl in there too. Okay? Your disrespectful ass. I'm sure you had her in there. I'm sure she probably walked through your damn house once or twice. But anyway, so she all like, why you worried about that? Why you worried about that? We not together. I'm not your woman. And then that's when he's like, we get loud. I'm finna leave. So then he started trying to walk off. Oh yeah, and of course, as always, he got to say that she was cheating and she need to do better. She was like, you need to do better. You need to do better. And then she's like, I ain't speaking on nobody you dated, nothing like that. So why you worried about it? Why you worried about it? And then of course, after he walked off a little bit, he was like, yeah, I could be disrespectful. She was like, you ain't gotta be disrespectful. I'm not your woman no more. So why you care? And then he had a response for that. But technically, they went to be continued. But it was still good. I was like, okay, this is a good, cute little fight at the end. Martell always doing something to get back at Melody, trying to get back with her. But he got a fucked way of doing it. Like, he do stuff to her to, like, keep messing with her. I guess to keep him on her mind. Like, what is this? It's constant. Like, what are you doing, Martell? And then she always throwing stuff that he said back in his face. I don't know why he be saying it. So, like, girl, you might as well just show us the text messages of him pleading to be back with you. Because then I would be like, I knew it. Because it's like she's about to pull up. But you know how Martell do. Which I'm sure he's saying all that stuff behind the scenes. But when the camera get in his face, he gotta lie. Because, oh, girl gonna be mad. Alright, so that was the end of the episode. Remember to drop down in the comments, let me know what y'all think about it, what y'all made a scene, what y'all thought about Mel and Martell and their drama, and him over here apparently seeing her on a date for the first time and losing his damn mind, okay? And then of course Tisha and Kimmy with their stupid ass drama. And then, Mel and Martell with their drama at the beginning with the daughter, okay? Drop down in the comments, let me know what y'all think. That was the end of the episode of Love and Marriage Huntsville Season 3, Episode 16. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe to the Be Like Dee channel, okay?